disclosing this additional information, it's really actually a strategic way to put you in a stronger negotiation position. What's up, guys? This is Yosef Adde, your South Bay and Los Angeles real estate specialist. So this is going to be the first part of 4 videos where I talk about my top dollar selling strategy. And before we even get a buyer involved, it's very important to put yourself in a good position to get the most for your home. And the one way I like to do that, and something I get very excited about as an agent representing a seller, is with disclosures. Now, I know most other agents out there consider disclosures are a boring part of paperwork. So why do I get excited about it? Because it puts me in a position to negotiate the highest top dollar sales price and really prevent the property from falling out of escrow, which could hurt you later on with lost time and price reductions, if the property sits on the market for too long. So a little bit of extra work on my part before the listing goes live really helps me put you in a better position to close on time and for the most money possible. So what are disclosures anyways? In California, when you sell a home, you're required to disclose details about the home that you're aware of to buyers you're under contract with in escrow. And this is obviously to ensure that the buyers have transparency and fairness in their purchase. So for example, if the seller knows there's a problem in the house, like a leak or mold or whatever, but they don't disclose that information to the buyer, they're potentially liable for any damages that the buyer finds later on, even years after the sale, and even if the buyer hired a home inspector. So home sellers are required to disclose certain details of the property to potential buyers, that basically would impact their decision to buy that house. So in California, the real estate law requires you to disclose a range of information such as material defects, environmental hazards, and any significant alterations or additions to the property. Material defects are things like, the foundation, plumbing, electrical, etc. Basically anything that could affect the property's condition, value, or safety, you want to disclose. And sellers are also required to disclose any known environmental hazards, such as lead-based paint, asbestos, or if the home is in an area known to have like flooding or wildfires or landslides, etc. And obviously you may not know every single detail of the home, especially if it's a property you inherited. So, our job obviously is to help, especially with the natural hazards. We'll get you a natural hazard report. That'll be done during escrow, and anything otherwise should basically be disclosed. And if someone did pass away in the home, that also has to be disclosed as well. So my job is, of course, to guide you through all those standardized forms so you're in full compliance with the law. Now, here's where I take a different approach when representing a seller when it comes to disclosures, and where I find a lot of people really miss out on getting more for their property. So let's say, for example, you're selling a house that hasn't been remodeled in about 20 years. You're not really sure of any issues that you're aware of, and quite frankly, you have no idea how old the roof even is, or if there's any issues with that. And clearly, if you're in the dark about your home, just imagine, prospective buyers that'll have to, cope with much less information than you have. And so they'll be even more skeptical about the home and its condition. So do you think a buyer that has no idea what the condition of the roof is, or the plumbing, or the electrical, or anything else for that matter, do you think that they're going to offer you everything they possibly can to get that house? Or is it more likely than not that they're going to hold back maybe $20, $30, $40, or even $50,000 or more from their offer because they're concerned there could be issues with the property? Yeah, they're probably going to hold some money back. Or if they, have a strong buyer's agent, they may simply offer you your full asking price, get it in escrow, and start the inspection process. And when those issues are discovered, they present you with a huge list of repair requests or credits from overpriced vendors that they got quotes from, and they really start beating you up in escrow. And now you're in a sticky situation. You're forced to negotiate with them for thousands more had you just been aware of the situation earlier. And this is why when I represent a seller, I have 2 inspections done for them at no cost. The first one is a termite inspection. And in California, a termite inspection is required anyways when you open escrow. So I like to get that done for my clients ahead of time. And for an older house, it may be, needing just $500 of wooden fascia boards to be replaced, or perhaps the whole house needs to be tented. And whether you do that or not prior to listing the home is up to you, but by having the report ready, you can at least disclose that information when buyers are in the process of submitting an offer, for your home. So, for some loans, such as FHA or VA loans, that termite work will most likely be required to be completed by the seller anyways. So rather than getting tripped up in escrow later on, it's better to get that done ahead of time. So the second inspection I do for my clients, which is really the most important one, is the home inspection. And that's obviously done with a licensed inspector. Now, traditionally, the buyers will hire their own inspector once they're in escrow. And even if we provide them with our own pre-sale home inspection, they're probably going to want to get their own inspection done anyways. So you may be wondering, if you're selling your home, what's the point of getting your home inspected prior to listing if the buyer is going to, do their own inspection anyways? Well, when you hire me, my job is to get you across the finish line with a home sold easily and for the most money possible. So that's why I provide a full home inspection for you. And the reason is, I don't want you to walk in blindly into escrow. And to be honest with you, I don't want the buyer to walk in blindly either. This is good for both parties. Like, for example, let's just say there's a small leak in the roof that you can only see once you crawl inside the attic that you had no idea about. So you go on Yelp, you find a 5-star, roofer, and he simply says the roof is due to be replaced, and they recommend you get the whole roof done for $25,000. But don't worry, you hired me, and so I know a good roofer that guarantees their work, that says the existing roof is good enough and they can simply patch the leak and replace a few missing shingles for $1,500. So even if you don't have the budget to fix that before you sell it, you just saved yourself tens of thousands of dollars by figuring that out ahead of time and providing that inspection report to the prospective buyer and that quote for $1,500 and disclosing everything. And by disclosing this additional information, it's really actually a strategic way to put you in a stronger negotiation position. So I'll have a pre-sale home inspection done for you at no cost, and then even if you don't want to spend a penny on the home and prefer to sell it as is, I'll then proceed to get quotes for any major safety issues, as well as big ticket items that could get costly to fix with written estimates. And then at least this way you can tell your buyers before they submit their final offer to review all your disclosures and inspections, and that you will not be providing any credits or performing any repairs for any of these disclosed issues, and for them to bid accordingly. So now what you've effectively done is you've created a shield against any potential issues that could have popped up during the buyer's inspection. So the termite inspection and the home inspection I provide, they're not services done by your typical agent, but it's included as part of my certified pre-owned sale, where I help you get your home prepped and ready to be sold. And for the buyers, we basically add thousands of dollars or even tens of thousands of dollars of value for them by giving them full disclosure of any potential issues, so they have the confidence to bid as much as possible to get that property. Much like, let's say, if you wanted to buy a certified pre-owned Mercedes, we give them the dealership experience rather than the private sale experience, so they have confidence to spend the most money possible. This works especially well with a pricing strategy where you force a bidding war, which brings in multiple offers, and then you can basically counter all these serious buyers with all your inspections and disclosures and estimates, etc. And you tell them, that you want them to review all documents and to counter back with their best and final offer. And the reason why I love to perform these additional services to the sellers that I represent is because it really puts me in a strong position to negotiate all potential buyers to compete and offer the highest sales price, while at the same time insulating you from potential issues that could pop up later on in escrow. So that's the first part of my top dollar selling strategy. Be sure to watch part 2, where I talk about additional prep work and services that I provide that will enhance your home and add more value to the buyer, and obviously to get you that top dollar offer. And if you know anyone that's looking to sell their home, or even if they had trouble selling it in the past, please send them this video. I'd love to help them, get that sold, and I guarantee my results that your home will be sold in 28 days. So thank you for watching, and I'll talk to you soon.